the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
And also the angle's tough. The microphone is in the way.
Well, we're literally in a field of stands, cables, and everything. Yeah, like if you were to pan down, you would see that our entire bodies are intertwined.
I was gonna say you'd see that the romance was gone, but actually you might see that there's too much romance.
Too much romance. That we have become one with the machine.
One with the machine.
The eco machine.
Yeah.
It's
no,
all. I mean,
it's environmentally friendly.
environmentally
These cords were.
These are all made of cardboard.
Yes, absolutely. Cardboard cords made in sustainable ways by howler monkeys. So we're employing
howler monkeys.
Yeah, we're employing wildlife. Wow. To do our work.
We should have mentioned that on Earth Day.
I know.
We didn't.
Blew it.
No.
We blew it. Well, that's the thing. We were going to employ the insects, but they were already. I mean, that's already a multi-billion-dollar industry. Those guys, it's tough to take them.
Get those guys to work.
Man, getting those guys to trade teams and join your staff, it's like.
They have a union, though. I'm sure.
It's a strong one. Strong. They're very united.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They are. They could take over the world.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
Let's take a minute.
Great.
Just take a minute right now. If you're in your car and you're in traffic, just take this moment to just know that people are polluting the earth and there's nothing we can do about it.
It will never stop.
That's the wrong attitude. The first person who's decided to tune into our podcast this episode, they're like, wait a second.
You're saying there's nothing we can...
What?
Why am I listening to this crap?
We're kidding, folks.
Yeah.
You can absolutely do things.
Look, we've already fixed most of the problems in the environment in previous podcasts as it is.
This is very true.
So literally all we have to do to fix the problem of people polluting the environment is do a podcast on how people are polluting the environment.
And it's done.
And it will end.
Solved.
But we're going to wait because...
Yeah, let's hold out because we got to have a show.
Because
we're trying to grow this thing, okay? We could solve it all tomorrow, but then where would our podcast be?
If we end environmental problems forever, which of course is what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
Then we won't be able to record more podcasts.
This is true.
And then where would people laugh?
Where would you laugh? Where would you go?
Where would you go?
You need the Biofriendly Podcast. Speaking of, I'm Jacob Gibbons.
And I'm Noel Carroll.
And we're your wonderful hosts that are here to save the world at our own timing. In our own
good time.
Eventually. That's a good tag. We're here to save the world. Eventually. We'll get around to it.
Let's add that to the end of our thing.
Oh, so
now
for
we've
got
the
Beacon of Light.
Beacon of Light. Then we got Sound Years Ahead.
Sound Years Ahead of the competition and Saving the World.
Saving the World eventually.
Okay. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
That's
on
fantastic.
our own good day and time.
So the people who've been following us since the beginning will hear the tag grow and grow and grow. But that means I need to go into iTunes and change it. So that right now it's just this one slogan, but it needs to just keep getting longer until we hit the character limit.
You need to put ellipses after. So we'll do one and then ellipses and then the next one and then more ellipses. It's kind of like we can't decide. Like
so many ellipses.
Yes.
So many ellipses. Yes. That is awesome. Yeah. Well, I have some cool stuff to talk about.
Oh, I like cool stuff.
My coffee. Actually, here's the thing. Yeah. I'm gonna give you an option. There's two angles.
Is this like multiple choice, like SATs when I was a kid? Am I gonna do I just choose C like I always did?
Yes, just one letter the whole time.
I got a 1300 on the SATs by just choosing C.
By just choosing C. Wow, they should rethink how they do that test. No, what I was going to say is the subject is the same, but we have two stories, and one is cute and one is cool. Which would you like to start with first? Cute or cool?
I want cute.
You want cute?
I like cuteness.
I think that's a strong way.
I like cuteness. I'm big on cute, like koala bears.
Oh,
yeah.
You're
pretty much all huggable bears, panda bears. I'm a bear guy.
Now here's the amazing thing, audience. I didn't even tell him what we're about to talk about, and he's already just grazing the yummy, cute surface of what I'm about to share with you.
Oh, really?
Okay, so here's the headline of the article.
Okay.
China just built a 250-acre solar farm shaped like a giant panda.
So everybody everybody knows that pandas are the cutest.
Can you see that right there? Can you see that? That's a solar farm that looks like Po from Kung Fu Panda.
That is a gross misuse of pandas.
It is not either.
How could they dare? I am opposed.
Pandas are China's thing. I think they're allowed to make a solar farm.
Taking advantage image of a panda's image. Did the panda get copyright out of this? Like,
that panda is getting residuals.
She better get residuals.
I hope so.
God, if pandas go extinct after this, I'm going to be so frustrated because they should have the financial means now. But people using have you noticed how people just abuse the panda image?
Yes.
This is what our cause
Panda
should be.
Express, WWF,
Panda Express
the World
again.
Wildlife Wrestling Federation.
See?
And now this.
Irresponsibility everywhere we look.
Yeah.
Everywhere we look. People just thinking, I can do whatever I want with the panda image. Like it doesn't belong to the pandas.
We were talking about unionized bugs earlier. Yeah. I think the pandas should unionize.
This is why nobody ever has pictures of bugs.
Right.
It's because they're good. They're strong.
Very
union.
strong. Yeah.
They've got everything trademarked. Mm-hmm. Their copyrights are secure. Mm-hmm. Their lawyers are just bulldogs. They're literally literally bulldogs. Bulldogs are the best lawyers.
The Screen Ants Guild. SAG. Oh boy.
I'm sorry. It's very
I digress. Cute. It's cute. It's cute though, right?
Cute.
It's super cute. So the funny thing about this is, a new solar power plant in Datong, China, however, decided to have fun with its design. One of the country's largest clean energy operators built a 240-acre solar farm in the shape of a giant panda, which I showed you the picture. You saw it, right? You saw the picture.
Did the audience?
Soups totes cute.
Let's
do it. Let's do it one more time.
I feel like we got. If you haven't heard, you can go to the Biofriendly Planet Facebook page.
Yes, and you can watch us.
And you can watch us because we now video our silly faces.
Yes.
And did I just burp on a podcast?
You did, but I think it was part of the process. I don't know if people noticed. I think that it's part of the panda bit.
If we keep going, do you think they'll?
It's fine. They'll ignore it. Whatever you do, just don't call it out.
Don't mention it.
Don't mention the burp.
So the panda's great. It's so, and we're on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So the picture of the panda that you just saw is so adorable, and we're certain they have licensing.
It's called the Panda Power Plant. The PPP.
PPP.
The Panda Power Plant. It will be able to produce 3.2 billion kilowatt hours of solar energy in 25 years. That's a lot, right? 3.2
will it take
billion kilowatt hours?
Like will they have all of them in 25? Like, do we have to wait 25 years?
We have to wait 25 years.
Use it, and then it's like, okay, now we have your energy.
It happens in one afternoon, and they could definitely solve the world's energy, just like this podcast. Yeah. They could solve it all right now.
But they're not doing it for 25 years.
They're going to hold on to it for 25 years. 25 years from now, guys, we're going to turn it on the lights, and your minds are going to be blown.
In 25 years.
This panda is going to
take over.
It's going to take over.
So for now, just sit tight. You know, keep burning your coal. And,
well, so what I thought was, not only is this cute, and I love pandas. I love pandas.
No,
do you love pandas?
I do. That's why I'm so upset about this.
I know.
This trademark
First of all, I
situation.
love Kung Fu Panda, and I love. Last Christmas, I went to the San Diego Zoo and I went to the panda exhibit, and just seeing a panda was like
magical.
Just gnawing on the bamboo, and I was like, oh, these are the cutest things ever. So
they are.
Yeah.
Have you seen a koala?
I have seen a koala. Koala was my favorite animal as a kid. Like 100%. I had koala toys. I had koala on my pencil. I had a koala that would clamp onto the top. Yeah. I was crazy about koalas. That's like one of the cutest animals in life.
I feel like if the koalas and the pandas got together and made just like a general cute bear
union. The cute union.
The cute union.
Oh, that's a good indie band name too. Cute union. The cute union.
Cute union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's a powerhouse. There's got to be a third though. This has got to be a triumvirate. It's got to be the pandas, the koalas, and there's one more animal that they would get as the dark horse, the one that you didn't expect when you saw it.
You didn't see him coming.
And you're like, oh my god. So if the audience has any ideas,
call in.
Call in now. No, tweet us.
Our hotline. Yeah,
tweet us.
Tweet us.
Hashtag cute union.
Cute union. We need to know what the third. It doesn't have to be a bear.
No.
Koalas aren't actually bears, but we call neither are pandas apparently.
Pandas,
but they're both bears.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a non-bear bear.
Right.
It could be any
just
cute.
has to be
just cute.
Soups totes cute. Right. That's all. That's my only request.
That's it. Like a rhino beetle would be a great example.
Those are.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
Those are wrong. Rhino beetles are hideous, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not good looking.
They're not handsome.
I think I went wrong.
We just lost our rhino beetle audience. I was in. Now I'm out.
Yep.
It's the last time I listened to an environmental podcast for support, and this is the last time somebody calls me an ugly species.
There's a pile. We now have we have against us now the people of Kentucky,
Yeah.
the people of Nebraska,
Yeah.
and rhino beetle fans.
Yeah.
Are all
really one by one.
We keep losing them.
Look, you can make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Thanks, Jack.
And Jack says, what I was going to say is that when I saw this, I was like, it had never dawned on me that, you see solar panels popping up all over the U.S., but I don't see any cute animals or faces. I'm not driving in the Nevada desert and seeing solar panels like in the shape of Ralph Macchio. Like that would be...
Why is there not a Ralph Macchio?
Like, why isn't there a Karate Kid solar panel in Nevada?
In Nevada, where you drive through on the way to Vegas and they have all the panels, on the left side of the freeway should be Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
And the
100%.
right side is Johnny.
Yes.
They should be like they should be there, ready to go. One is ready to sweep the leg, and one's in crane. And they're about to go.
I mean, I think that the support for solar panels would go through the roof.
I know. This is it. This is why we don't have solar panels everywhere.
Because nobody's making pictures out of them.
People have been blowing this.
Blowing it. If you look at it, it's like, oh, it's a square box of solar panels. China made a panda.
See,
a panda.
Can you imagine if this had only happened 25 years ago?
Exactly.
Then we could have had all
of our power.
Because we'd have power now.
They would have been charging it 25 years ago in the late 1990s. Yeah. And then right now we'd be flipping the switch and we'd be going.
Ralph Macchio would be powering us up.
Ralph Macchio and Johnny be sweeping the leg all the way to no energy crisis. Right?
Man.
So that's why I thought it was a cute story, and it's also inspiring because I'm
Billy
like...
Zabka. What is it? No, Zabka.
Zabka is...
Isn't it Billy? It's Billy Zabka, right?
Yeah, it's the actor's
his real name.
Is the actor's name? I think so. It's something Zabka.
Please tweet us.
Frank Zabka.
Frank. It's Blue's Frank Zabka.
Dweezil Zabka. Moon Unit Zabka. Oh, man. Those are such dated references that only people, I think, our age and older will understand.
You know what's sad? The only people who understand that are from Kentucky and Nebraska, and they don't listen to our podcast.
And the rhino beetles.
And those people all know the reference.
A lot of people know that rhino beetles are huge Zappa fans.
We have to really spend some time to make it up to all those guys.
Because
we love them.
I'm going to take a moment.
We actually love them. We just made a mistake.
To reflect upon the insults that we have hurled upon those three groups and reconsider. Because as for the cute union, like we have them locked in whether you can't make fun of them and cause them to leave, right? Like we've got koalas and we've got pandas, like without a doubt.
They're locked.
Right, they're locked in. Yeah. But like there's some sensitive audience members that I think that we want to listen to the show. Yeah. So we can't rip on them too much.
We can't be this mean, you know? Right. We gotta be nicer people, Jacob. I think if we don't get more biofriendly.
You're right. It's not biomeanly. Biomeanly. That's our biggest competitor. Biomeanly. There's another company. That's we're Ralph Macchio. What's his Daniel LaRusso.
And they're Johnny
is coming after us to sweep the leg with biomeanness.
Okay.
So like what they do is they spread the bio message, the environmental message, but through cruelty.
Do we commit to... I have an idea for our audience.
Okay.
Because they've been so great to us.
Yes.
And to help bring back the people of Nebraska, Kentucky, and rhino beetle fans.
Okay.
I think that we should have a day, and it should be an important day of some kind where it would be relevant.
Okay.
Where we go ahead and let the biomeanly guys come into studio.
Oh, I think that's great.
And do a podcast.
So we do like a swap.
We swap it out.
Okay.
We give them our studio. We say, look, here's your day, biomeanly.
Let biomeanly hosts Joel and Jacob. Come in here. And they do a podcast. And they do what they do in the meanest way.
Yeah, because they're jerks.
Oh yeah, total jerks. But they're still trying to save the planet.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's bio.
Through
biomeanly. Through mean methods.
Through insults.
They're effective, but they're jerks.
They're total jerks. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
That's a great idea. I think we should absolutely do that.
All right. Great.
So, yeah.
So sorry. So back to 25 years from now.
25 years from now, we get solar power from the panda. No, I mean, in all seriousness, like that's the thing.
It'll last. So it'll be able to last for 25 years.
25 years. Wow. And most things. So I didn't know much about solar. And if you're listening, I mean, I know the basic concept, but the thing about solar is up until this point, there's been a lot of things that have been prohibitive for a lot of people, but that is changing in a big way. Yeah. Like it used to be, it's too expensive for most.
Right.
People would even complain that the materials used aren't necessarily the best kind and emit greenhouse gases that could be just as bad, if not worse. I mean, the material itself.
Right.
So, but that is changing. Like within the past few years, first of all, I have a cool thing here that's about developing a new type, which is more efficient, better. It's becoming more accessible for everybody. There's tax credits, there's tax initiatives to getting it. In the stock market, I saw on the Motley Fool, it said like if you invest in solars right now, they're going like way up. Yeah. It's just going up. So things are beginning to shift in the argument against it. It's going more for it.
Well, and the storage is finally being confronted. Because one of the issues that solar energy has always had, because the idea of putting panels on your roof at your house and then being able to have your energy without having to get charged by you know, some stupid service to have your power is very appealing to people. But when they find out, wait, so I get the solar and then it just goes back to the power company and then they buy it from me and that's how I get my... So I'm not off the grid. I'm still on the grid. I'm just making power. And that, for a lot of people, it's like, but I wanted to be able to know that I was making my own power.
Making your own power,
And so then the problem was that there weren't effective or efficient batteries. And there has, because of... you know, mobile phones and you know, Tesla,
the power cell that he created.
Right. There's now you know, kind of there's an option, and now there's people competing against that to try to make other options, and the focus is going in on making these batteries, because if you have batteries, you can go off the grid because you can put all that solar energy in a battery instead of back to the power company,
and then you can control it, and like a lot of, and the power cell that Tesla made initially was just way too expensive. All this has been very difficult for the regular public to do because it's pricey. But even Tesla has decided to start slashing prices with this kind of stuff because it's, you know, it's becoming a thing where if more and more people can do it, then they say that the cost of getting a solar panel on your home or whatever, within a year and a half, you will pretty much paid off with the amount that you would have saved paying the power bill.
Because the power bills are getting so...
They're getting ridiculous.
I mean, they're getting insane.
Right. Yeah. So it's becoming a more and more appealing thing for most people to do. And this has just been within the past couple of years. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, it's a really great solution. Like a bunch of tiny micro generators on every single house. It's a better way to go than having a grid that requires transmission. And for those of you who are not following the concepts of transmission,
break it down for
one of the biggest issues that you have in power is when you generate the power, you have to move it from the desert, usually, where it's being created, all the way into the cities. And that means power lines, which are subject to being... Well, they can get messed with, they can get knocked over, they can fail. Stuff goes wrong, they can start fires. There's a lot of that issue. And beyond those issues also is every time you run a power line, there's a finite amount of power that it can move. So the bigger the cities get, and the more power we need, like with all these mobile phones and everything, we're using more power. That's one of the reasons that we're creating more carbon emissions, is because we are using more power. So if you have to bring in more energy, that means running more lines, putting up more towers, doing more. So transmission of the energy is a real big pain in the butt. It's also a kind of a security weakness, right? You take out the power lines, you take out the power. Right. Exactly. But if you had a bunch of micro generators on every single house and everyone was responsible for their own power, suddenly you've spread that out over everything, and it's just a lot. It's a lot more. It's a more sensible way to do it.
You broke it down. Now everybody starts to get it. You were getting too technical and heady, but then you just brought it to the reality that the audience needs to hear.
They're like, get out of my head, man.
Yeah, and
get into my car.
Rhino Beatles right now.
Get out of my head. Get into my car.
Get in the backseat, baby.
That is a song.
So you brought us
That's
right around.
That's a song I need to hear again.
Yeah. I
forgot. I haven't heard that song. I don't know.
I haven't heard it.
How does this stuff show up in this podcast?
I don't know, but here's the funny thing about that song. I don't know. That song's a little creepy.
Oh my God, get out of my dreams.
Get into my car.
Get into my car.
Get in the backseat, baby. Or the trunk. You know? I mean, it's like, it's a little.
That just tripled the awfulness.
Yeah, I know, but it's one of those songs that it's sweet. It's a pop song from a long time ago, but nowadays, I think, like you could, how during Christmas time,
baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
It's
loses.
At the time, it's like, that's so, they're in love, they're having their, like, this is their flirting back and forth, and now it's like, wait, is he?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's crossed too many lines, and that's the funny thing is I've read, how every Christmas, whenever that song gets played, people always make a lot of jokes about it,
right?
And it's like back then nobody was thinking that because I've read that at the time the humor was that clearly she wanted to stay. And these lines and dialogue that she was using were like common phrases and things from film and television that were like intimating, I don't want to leave,
right.
you know?
Hard to get was more of a thing.
Yes.
Then. Like, it's like you play coy, you play hard to get, you make it hard for the boy to get you, and then you go back and forth. And that's what that song was.
So you lose over time the relevance of that. So I think Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car, I think in another 20 years, people are going to be like, what were they thinking?
Are they out of those people?
Those people are out of
Why
their...
is everybody so rapey?
right? That's wrong.
a terrible
She doesn't need
time.
to get in your car.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right, but I remember the time.
But it's a great song.
I remember the time. I was how old were we when that thing came out?
Oh, that's definitely...
a long time ago.
That was a long time. I got to say, it's
we were
late 1980s. It's got to be.
Yeah,
I'm
so
going to
we were-
say 88, something
So
around
we were
then.
like 10-year-old kids.
No, I wasn't even born
You
yet.
weren't born
doll.
because you're
I am a
because
young,
you're 30.
I'm a young millennial with no gray in his beard. The audience that has only listened to us up until this point and not seen us, they could have thought we were like 20-something, young men. But now when they tune in, they go, oh.
I feel like nobody thought that. Our references are
To children, to being dads, and we reference things
and
that
our
are...
pop culture references
are
and
like
things
20,
we
30
care.
years ago.
I mean, we are so not with
So they actually are surprised now that they're watching us. They're like, oh, well, they look younger than I thought. I was expecting...
I thought they were 80.
I was expecting Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen running this podcast, because...
Why are we not those guys?
Right?
Listen,
listen, Charles. Charles.
It's time for us to go and get this thing started.
I know. I don't...
Now, this podcast...
I could probably do an Ian McKellen, but I don't think I have a Patrick Stewart. Do you have a Patrick Stewart?
That was my Patrick Stewart. Is that not right? I thought it was Patrick Stewart.
No, that's pretty good.
Am I doing it wrong?
No, that's pretty good.
I didn't think I was doing it wrong. I thought I was doing quite right.
That's a very good Patrick Stewart. It's very good. Sounds like a British guy saying he's Patrick Stewart.
Hello, I'm Patrick Stewart.
Well, yeah. Oh, okay. Now you brought your A game.
When I say Patrick Stewart, then it suddenly sounds like I am Patrick Stewart.
Oh, now you're
but
doing great.
actually, I am not Patrick Stewart.
And the key about Ian McKellen is he's got a little bit of a downturned mouth as he speaks, right? It's like Charles. It's a little like this, little guttural.
Right. Whereas Patrick Stewart is
right.
He's calm and he's intelligent and he takes his time to say the things exactly as they should have been said the first time by anyone who ever said anything.
I love it. We should do the rest of the podcast. This is gonna be the schizophrenic biofriendly podcast. We're gonna be multiple, personalities for sure. Yeah. So back to solar after Get Out of My Dreams into my car.
We're doing a podcast.
Since we're, I want to get to the other article because this one's, so I gave the option of going cool first and then, I gave the option of going cute first.
Yes, you did. And I did get cute.
You did get super cute. This one I thought was awesome. I was like, whoa! I was like, cool! I was, wow! SpaceX is about to launch a solar sail inspired by Carl Sagan. Rad, right?
What?
Solar sail. That sounds so cool.
Is that like a windsurfing sail, except up in, is there a dude on a board with a thing and he's just like...
It's Keanu. It's Point Break, but in space. What do I want to see that so bad?
Did you just say Keanu in Point Break in space?
Yeah, Point Break in space.
Oh my god!
I want to see that.
What's Patrick Swayze doing right now? Sorry, that was terrible.
What's Patrick Stewart doing right now? Instead of Patrick Swayze, let's get Stewart.
I've showed up to rob a bank. Now, everybody, get your hands in the air.
Charles, we can't.
This is my friend Ian. The two of us are going to rob this bank. Now, Keanu Reeves could enter the building at any moment.
Any moment, he could come in the bank.
And if he comes into the...
We're going to need to get on our space boards.
Right. Let's take off of these Richard Nixon President masks.
That's right.
And we'll go into space.
Let's go into space with our sails.
We'll go sailing into space.
Solar sails.
And no one will ever find us, except for that devious Keanu Reeves.
That rascal Keanu Reeves. So after months of delays, an 11-pound spacecraft propelled by the power of sunlight is finally launching aboard a SpaceX Falcon Heavy this summer from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Right?
I'm so out of my mind an FBI agent over this.
I know, right? Total Point Break. This is a great Point Break episode.
This is awesome.
Yeah. The shoebox-sized Light Sail 2 is the result of 10 years of research and engineering by the Planetary Society and could pave the way for a radical new method of off-world propulsion that doesn't rely on fuel.
So basically, we fixed the problem for bunnies,
Yeah.
cats, and anything else that can sail on a shoe-sized spaceship.
Yes, because it is it does say it's 11 pound. It's not very big, obviously. But this is a cool quote. Who's behind this?
Yeah.
40 years ago, my professor, Carl Sagan, shared his dream of using solar sail spacecraft to explore the cosmos, said Planetary Society CEO Bill Nye.
Bill Nye?
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Isn't he the one who's lighting things on fire and saying, "We're burning our planet"?
Yeah, he's the one dropping F-bombs now. Yeah, well, he's mad.
He's got full Bob Saget on us.
Yeah, but this is the kind of stuff that, for me, I'm learning. Look, if the audience is learning something, I am definitely learning something along the way.
Totally.
Because every time we dig into a subject, I'm like, oh, solar panels. I wasn't even thinking about space exploration powered by the sun.
Right.
This article goes on to talk about if they get this right, you could get spacecraft that could travel indefinitely, because there's always...
I suppose they'll get farther and farther from the sun and then be in between
stars.
stars.
No, but I think that the amount of where we're going...
Solar radiation?
Yeah, solar radiation and how much it can run off of until it reaches the next destination and so on and so forth.
Well, the nice thing about space is objects in motion stay in motion until acted upon by an equal and opposite force. So,
can we put that at the end of the show?
Absolutely. Biofriendly podcast. Your beacon of light in a
gloomy environment.
Sound years ahead of the competition.
Saving the world
eventually. And an object in motion stays in motion until it's reacted on by an object of equal and opposite, or force of equal and opposite.
I love it. It's great. So that was...
That's what I should have done in the Keanu voice. That would have been way more impressive if I dropped.
You should have dropped the science theories in Keanu voice always.
Oh, man.
But it's funny because we're starting to think of him less like that as we are thinking of him as John Wick, right? He's not his dude man bro anymore. He's got this kind of like...
Now he's don't mess with my dog.
Yeah, don't mess with my dog. I've got lots of guns.
I have so many guns.
By the way, that opens I think very soon. I'm dying to see John Wick 3. I can't wait to go see that.
I can't wait. I love that series so much.
Yeah,
and
so
it's so weird that I love it so much because it's not something that I would normally look for. Like I'm not a big action movie
Me
buff,
neither.
really.
I love them, but it's not something I seek out actively.
Yeah, no, I'm more of a comedy guy. But there's something about
you.
There's something or romance.
Yeah, or romantic comedies.
I love a good romance movie.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, I don't usually seek that out. But there's something about the fact that is so tongue in cheek, unapologetically just violent,
just guns blasting in every direction.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
amazing. I think that it's
almost cartoonish in its.
Well, it fulfills this thing that you don't see as much anymore, which is like a film from the 80s or early 90s that was just straightforward action. Like let's just get right to it.
Just the whole time. It's just there's just madness going on.
But I think that our Point Break in space, you could use a little John Wick in there too. So I think we could get John Wick, Point Break in space, and that might be the greatest film ever made.
John Wick, Point Break in space. So all we have to do is shrink him down to smaller than 11 inches so that he can fit in the spaceship.
He's like,
hello, I'm John Wick. John Wick.
I don't know why he became English. I don't know why he became English as soon as he was little, but it's just cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you put him on a surfboard in space with a lot of photon blasters.
Yes.
And you've got probably the greatest film of all time with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen as the villains.
As the villains. Yeah. Robbing banks in Point Break style.
100%. Sold.
I cannot believe this movie doesn't exist.
I think we could walk into a production studio and I think we could walk in and we go, John Wick, Point Break in space, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart.
That's the part when you get him. That's where you get him. First of all, Keanu Reeves is reprising his role.
Yeah.
In Point Break and John Wick, one character.
One character.
Two guys making one character.
One character.
He's reprising together.
Yes.
And then he's in space.
He's in space.
He's less than 11 inches tall.
Yeah.
he's in a tiny surf ship with his guns blazing, and he's being chased down by bank robbers who are played by Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Where do I sign? I mean, literally, how much money do you need?
This movie writes itself.
And it's all solar powered.
The whole movie.
The cameras, everything is solar powered. Okay?
I cannot believe this. I cannot believe how wonderful this is.
A biofriendly production. It's our first feature film.
It's our first feature film. Biofriendly presents Point Break / John Wick in space with Ian McKellen.
I just love that he's 11 inches tall.
Less than. He has to fit in an 11-inch spaceship. He's smaller than 11 inches tall.
Because I think the article said it was an 11-pound thing, not 11 inches. I said it's 11 pounds. They didn't say 11 inches.
Sorry.
I sometimes mix up.
So Keanu Reeves needs to be shrunk down to less than 11 pounds.
11 pounds.
Okay.
So he's going to basically...
I think we should stick with inches. I think we should
you're right.
just... Because I figure he'll be less than 11 pounds.
Yeah, I think you're right. 11. He's got to be less than 11 pounds and less than 11 inches. That's the rule.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the 11-11 rule.
Coming to a theater near you. So... I love this show so much because here we are. We talked about Panda solar panels.
We did.
Karate Kid solar panels. Yeah. We talked about John Wick in space, Point Break in space. We talked about Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car.
We did.
It's been a magical journey in the solar.
Crazy time. Yeah. Is there before? I'm imagining we got to sign off.
Yeah,
it sounds like we're going. Are we out of time?
I'm getting towards that. Well, you know why? Why? Because our ending is becoming longer and longer.
Oh, I know. We need a good hour.
I have to look at me like we got to get out of here. It's gonna be a while. Part 2 of the podcast is just the farewell.
Jeez. No, what I was to say is that to go back to the topic.
Yes.
To wrap it up before we get ourselves out of here.
That's a great idea. That's probably why people are listening to the show. They want to learn more.
Right. So that's a cool concept. So if we have solar sails, then you don't have to worry about having a nuclear reactor on a shuttle to get it moving. You don't have to power wise. Yeah. So long as the solar sail's working and you have backups, like maybe additional solar sails. I don't know. Yeah. You can just keep rocking that thing and going. And because an object in motion stays in motion, you can...
Say it like Keanu, please.
Because an object in motion stays in motion.
Thank you.
Once you've got it going, if you've got, again, good enough batteries to keep the energy there, you can build up the speed and just kind of keep going to the next star.
Exactly. This is and for there are naysayers of solar technology, and there's people that say, there's problems. And of course there's pros and cons to everything. A lot of people, but what I found in my research was that taking a bold step in a new renewable energy direction, a bold step requires some challenges and some pitfalls, but along the way, it far outreaches what we can accomplish in terms of compared to coal energy and the negative impacts of that on the earth. Yeah. So even if there are things that aren't as an environmentally friendly as we want, they're working to solve those. They're working to fix that.
Well, and isn't that the theme of the show also? It's look, it is part of this is the journey. Yeah. And that's the thing I think that some of the more vigorous environmentalists need to start to look at a bit more. It's the journey. It is the journey, right? So and I know okay, we're gonna die tomorrow and it's like hellfire and flame.
I mean, we are,
stuff,
but go on.
That's fine. But for your average Joe. Or Jane. Mm-hmm. Is that an average Jane? Is that right? Or
sure.
Average Jill?
I'll accept it.
Yeah. Average Nancy.
Yeah.
For your average Nancy.
Average Bronwyn.
For your average Bronwyn. And Klaus.
And Klaus.
In order for you to become truly an environmentalist, right, and to really embrace everything that needs to be done, you have to get there. Right. And I think the same thing goes with technology. As a planet, we're not there. But so long as we're committing to getting there, and working on it,
I agree.
Then we'll get there.
I agree because there's a million ways that you could naysay and shoot down an idea or a concept or an innovation. Right. But I think that everyone working on solar technology is trying to fix anything that would be a negative impact to the planet and take steps into the future. And that's what I'm all about.
And over time, I would say 25 years from now,
we'll get to use it.
It'll be fixed.
It'll be great.
They'll have it right. It'll be great.
It'll be great. By the time you and I are 35, we will be able to.
When we're finally 35 years old. When we're finally middle-aged.
Middle-aged
Not
men.
the young bucks we are today.
Young, handsome gentlemen we are.
Yeah. It'll be sorted.
Maybe we should consider fixing it sooner. Okay. You and me. Just let's fix it a little sooner. Fine.
You know what? Give me a little time.
Okay. Think about it?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Eventually.
Okay.
All right.
This has been the Biofriendly Podcast, and I've been Jacob.
And I've been Noel.
And we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Sound years ahead of the competition.
Saving the planet eventually.
Eventually. Oh, are we doing the other one too? Oh, an object in mind.
I think that we're good there because those are definitely
Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.